Well, it's a beautiful morning here, huh?
It is.
I'm Greg Pelican. I'm the marketing manager for Trek Bicycle Stores of Florida. And I'm with a really good friend who is an ultra endurance athlete. What's your name?
I'm Charlie Catalano, Greg. Thanks for having me this morning. I'm 48 years old. I live in Estero, and like you, I'm passionate about ultra endurance sports.
Well, I think you have a really awesome story to share. And it's starting with, what are you doing this weekend?
I'm attempting my second 100-mile ultra, the Daytona 100. My first 100-mile ultra was in May. The Keys 100, we ran all the way from Key Largo to Key West. It took me a very long time, but I finished. So this weekend, I'm aiming to not just finish, but even, if possible, to improve upon my performance from May.
Well, look, I've done a couple marathons, and they were brutally hard. I can't even imagine doing 100 miles. But really what's special about the story is that Charlie has type 1 diabetes. And why don't you explain like the challenges of that and doing such an endurance race with that disease?
Sure. So yes, I do have type 1 diabetes. I was actually diagnosed 18 years ago. And type 1 diabetics, I think generally are insulin dependent. I certainly am. And what that means is that my body doesn't produce insulin. So I have to take insulin daily, either through injections or a pump, to maintain my insulin levels, my glucose levels, and to survive. So I choose to take injections daily, about 8, and I actually have my insulin pens with me here, just like I will this weekend during my ultra.
Oh, that's like, so if you're doing this long race, and this race could be like up to 24 hours, right?
Yeah, yes, that's right, or more.
So you have like a regular, endurance athlete has all the challenges of not bonking and keeping your energy level high and sustained and steady through the event. So you have another dynamic to manage insulin. Is that correct? The insulin level?
Right. I have to manage how much insulin I've taken, which equates to how much insulin I have on board. And that, coupled with the exercise and what I'm eating, directly impacts my glucose levels.
So how do you monitor that?
Sure. So there are two ways that you can monitor your glucose.
Yeah.
One is through a glucometer, and you see those commercials on TV when people prick their fingers.
Right.
And I have a glucometer, but it's a backup just in case my continuous glucose monitor fails me. And so I wear a Dexcom G6 continuous glucose monitor. It consists of 3 components.
Okay.
The first I'll show you is a sensor, right? It's attached to my abdomen, and it includes a flexible wire. Mm-hmm. The second piece is the battery, brain, or transmitter, right? That records the data and transmits it to my phone, to my iPhone. So I'll show you. So when I'm on the course, I can open my phone and see that my glucose is 136 and steady.
Yeah. So this is amazing technology.
Yes.
Is this new?
No, continuous glucose monitors have been around for several years, but there are more on the market now, and the technology continues to improve.
Right.
Some people wear a continuous glucose monitor and an insulin pump that releases insulin periodically. I wear a CGM and take multiple daily injections.
Okay. So that is going to be a tool for you to monitor not only your insulin level, but how much you should be eating, or it's kind of a balance of those two things.
It's monitoring my glucose level,
right.
And it then helps me to decide if I need to eat or take insulin.
So if it goes down, you eat?
Yes,
right.
And if it's too high, I take insulin.
Wow.
You've got it.
Yeah.
And what's nice is you can set alerts on this. So I'll set my low glucose alert at 100, which isn't too low. But during an ultra endurance event, when you could potentially, your glucose you're expending glucose and it could drop very quickly, I want to know at around 100, especially because technology isn't perfect, right? That I need to be thinking or paying attention more closely to my glucose level. By the same token, I'll set the high alert at 180 because if I'm starting to trend that high, I need to be thinking about, okay, should I inject 1 unit of insulin to help?
So you just stop and then inject some insulin, and
you've got it. So what I have in my other pocket here is 2 types of insulin. I have my short or fast acting insulin. In this instance, it's Humalog, And this is the insulin that I take the most throughout the day, usually in conjunction with meals or snacks.
Yeah.
And this is my long or slow-acting insulin that I only take once a night.
Yeah.
And then I have in this little bag here my alcohol wipes and pen needles. So I'll stop in the middle of a race. I'll inject a unit of insulin.
Wow.
I'll put everything
That's
back in the
hardcore.
pocket.
That's hardcore.
It's especially nice at night if I decide to double barrel it, right? Taking 1 unit or 2 units of short acting.
Oh my goodness.
And then my dose of long acting.
Wow.
You can have fun with it, I suppose.
Oh my goodness.
And I have to make sure too, Greg, that that I don't lose power, if you will.
Yeah.
So because I depend upon this iPhone to also double as the receiver for my continuous glucose monitor, the case that I have has a battery backup, and I'm also carrying an extra charger in here so that I can connect the two and charge it throughout the night at 2 or 3 or 4 in the morning. I can't be worried about what my glucose level is. But like I said, in the event that it fails, I can resort to traditional, old-fashioned, if you will, glucometer. Prick my finger.
Well, I mean, endurance sports, I think like the takeaway for me on this is that like even if you have type 1 diabetes, it's no reason not to enjoy cycling or triathlon or running or just reaching and doing something fantastic like what you're going to do.
I completely agree. In fact, I've been inspired by many type 1 diabetics who've done even greater things than this. I'm really surrounded by a community of what we call peeps with beeps.
Yeah. And
we call ourselves that because of the medical devices that we wear and use. And we're all committed to doing epic shit, whether it's full Ironmans, and I've done a few of those, or 100-mile ultras. And it's tremendous. And I met a lot of these people through something called Diabetes Training Camp, which is a tremendous resource. I've attended camp both as a camper and as staff.
Yeah.
And so I would encourage people who are interested in learning more or may have a friend or family member with diabetes to check out Diabetes Training Camp. Camps for teens, camps for type 2s, and especially camps for type 1 adults. And it's a place where we learn, connect, and engage, and give and get inspiration, which is absolutely wonderful.
That's fantastic. Well, you're an inspiration, Charlie.
Thanks, Greg.
I wish you luck this weekend. Go get them and keep this up.
Thank you. Thanks, Greg.